And welcome back, folks. We had a great match between Team Tempest versus Players Anonymous, but now we're going over to the Freljord division for our second match of the day between Credible Hulk and Friends versus CEAL Team 6. Very excited to see what these two teams are going to be up to, what they're going to bring to the table. I have watched CEAL Team 6 in the past. I haven't really seen Credible Hulk and Friends in action, and I'm excited what they're going to bring to the table. Hunter, any words before we jump into game here about what we might be able to see or what we might see from these two teams?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, we got the chance to cast SEAL Team 6 just recently, and when we watched them last, I was really impressed by the play of their support player, making lots of plays on Morgana and Rakan, respectively, in both games, despite losing the first game, still looking like they were absolutely carrying their team, and I'm looking for more of that out of them if they're able to bring it.
Yes, I'm very excited. And without further ado, folks, let's jump right into game. And Hunter, give me your quick thoughts on matchups and future predictions of what we might see this game.
Awesome, and as we get into game here, we do see a Set versus Quinn in the top lane, and I'm not sure how this lane's going to play out, honestly. Quinn's should theoretically counter Set, but if Set times his Facebreaker right and interrupts Quinn's Volt, it might be in for a world of hurt on that bird. In the jungle, we do see the Rammus versus Lee Sin matchup. Lee Sin, an incredibly powerful jungler, but it's really dependent on the player having the mechanics to
Sorry,
back it
Hunter,
up.
we might have to interrupt you for a second. We do see a level 1 extravaganza here. We see Set flashing, eating multiple members of SEAL Team, and we're going in. Are they going to be able to get more? Are they able to pick up this Leona? They are going to get the stun off. This Swain is producing massive damage into a good Q, pushing him back, getting a good first blood. And that's a Swain mid, not a Swain support, which we typically see nowadays. And it's very good on the side of Hulk and Friends, getting that first blood and really putting that early objective kill onto their mid laner.
Yeah, actually, just Swain coming into lane now with 2 Dorn's rings. Going to be a huge advantage for them, but they are against a Malzahar, one of the best neutralizing picks in League of Legends. So I don't know if he'll be able to push that advantage. We'll have to check up on that in the future. Recapping that level 1 fight, we do see Quinn, Leona, and Caitlyn missing flashes for the side of SEAL Team 6, whereas only Set had to burn his on the side of Credible Hulk. And that's just a really large early laning advantage coming in for the side of Credible Hulk. Just having no flashes in the bot lane, knowing they can't all-in you anywhere near as easily, will do a lot for them. Now, as before, I was sort of touching on this jungle matchup. Lee Sin is an incredibly powerful jungler, but you really need to see the mechanics come out to make the most of what his kit does. And it'll be really interesting to see if Sharona can bring that out and really show what this champion's all about. In the mid lane, we do see Malzahar versus Swain. Touched on this a little bit. I can't imagine Swain is good in this matchup, seeing as Malzahar has the spell shield to avoid the Swain's E, and to avoid a lot of what Swain's laning potential is in that case. But we do see the Swain picking up first blood, blowing the E early on the Malzahar, might be able to take advantage of that, at least for the early game. Otherwise, Malzahar, excellent denying pick, as I mentioned earlier, should just be able to push wave clear and maybe even get off a roam here or there. Bot lane, we do see Ashe, Morgana into the Leona Caitlyn, with trading going on top lane. Leona gets pretty hard countered by the Morgana, as many of us know, and should have a pretty hard time engaging onto this lane, keeping the Ashe safe for the Morgana. But we've seen lots of good plays out of this Leona player in the past, as I mentioned earlier, and I'd like to see if they can make that magic happen again in this lane.
Very interesting here. Now I want to take note of all the flashes burnt in that level 1 extravaganza here. On the side of Hulk and Friends here, we only see the Set flash down, but on the side of SEAL Team 6, we see Quinn, we see Caitlyn, we see Leona, which could mean major jungle opportunities from this side of Hulk and Friends.
Yeah, for sure. Rammus isn't the best ganker unless you're really quite overextended in your lane. But we do see him walking mid lane, pressuring out the Malzahar, getting him to burn some of his mana on just walking away and not dying to the gank, which is going to let the Swain pressure him even more. We see the Malzahar's already out of mana in this lane. He doesn't have enough gold to finish up his lost chapter. Nowhere near that, in fact. Probably going to have to burn TP. Probably going to have to buy some lackluster items before coming back, and that's already a nice advantage for the Swain.
Very interesting. And now, you were talking earlier about the top lane matchup here. I do enjoy, and I kind of favor towards Set a little bit, just because if he takes second win into any range matchup, by the time he gets Bork, if he plays safe, he gets Bork, lands a nice ultimate down onto Quinch, it's almost impossible for her to escape that. And it will be very tricky for her to really kite him back and really stop the overall damage that he's able to output onto her.
Yeah, and I think that's true more or less regardless of what item you build on the set first. I don't know if we'll end up seeing a Bork first item here. It might actually end up being a Black Cleaver or a Triforce. But regardless, the extra move speed from Phage does a very similar job as the slow active from the Bork. We see more trading mid lane. The Swain is though, and won't be able to finish off the Malzahar.
Boom. Headshot.
CS advantage massively actually developed top lane already for this set, and touching more on what Ryder said there, Set's just immune to poke. Set's immune to any sort of fun interactive laning tools that you might have between his W and his passive. He's just going to tank it out, and he actually has massive outplay potential in this lane too. We see both mid laners are ulting
up, and Lee Sin is here to do a counter gank. Swain ulted. I don't think he's back yet. No, he hasn't. Here comes the ultimate down from Malzahar. They're going onto the Rammus. He is in danger. Flash in from the Lee Sin. He does get E'd by the frenzying taunt from Rammus. Well, Lee Sin lands a really nice E and getting that extra damage just to end his life. Jungler for jungler. Great exchange here.
Well, bot laners are mid now, and they're shoving this wave into turret, punishing the Swain for sticking around in lane. Here's where you see the double Dorn's Ring really coming to fruition on him, though. Being able to have the extra mana regen and extra raw HP in this lane phase has allowed him to stick around here and pick up all this farm, whereas before he would have had to back and instantly TP back in and possibly be vulnerable to a regank. Lee Sin trading his life for the Rammus, getting the kill over to him, giving another kill over to Swain in the process, though. Not great for his mid laner, but
There
pretty
goes
nice
that
for
ultimate
him.
I was talking about earlier. There is the flash engage onto the Set, getting the kill onto Quinn. Engage. Set did have to waste flash just to close the gap, able to get onto Quinn, and is able just to chunk her out, even though she's underneath her own turret here. And in the midst of all of this as well, we do see CEAL Team 6 actually going down and getting the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, so that's first dragon picked up for CEAL Team 6, which is a nice trade for the advantage they lost on the top side of the map. But the Quinn not having TPs, she's not going to be able to impact the rest of the game, and she's going to have to be entirely reliant on winning this 1v1 in the split push. But I don't know when she's ever going to start doing that. Bork will help out for sure, but the fact that the Set, if he ever outplays her, and she's got to be afraid of this too, if he ever face breakers, when the Quinn goes in for her
We
ult,
do see another engage coming bot lane. We do see the Rammus Powerball going in, frenzying taunt onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn flashing away, Axe flashing in, Morgana landing a nice bind onto Leona there. Ignite going out onto the Leona. Morgana picking up the kill onto Leona, Ashe picking up the kill on Caitlyn. Big win on the side of Holk and friends. Now we see another engage going down in the mid lane. Nice engage from the Swain going on to Malzahar. Malzahar does have Lee Sin as a pocket pick, waiting to see if he is going to be engaged. And as well, on top of that, we see Quinn landing some nice deep wards in the jungler side of blue side of Hulk and friends.
Yeah, really utilizing her move speed there to get some nice deep wards, get some spotting out on this Rammus if he ever goes into the top side jungle. But we see right now Rammus is just taking the rest of Lee Sin's jungle while he's at it. Denying the blue buff from Malzahar is what I think he's doing right now. And just with Malzahar without blue buff here is going to be in such a hard time. Swain, in fact, gets the blue buff himself. So now there's a blue buff Swain versus a no blue buff Malzahar in the mid lane, and that Swain's just going to keep pushing. Malzahar's eventually going to run out of mana, we think. Not sure, who knows. That champion's pretty crazy sometimes. But if this Swain can start getting out of this lane and affecting the rest of the map with his advantage, it's going to be really bad for SEAL Team 6.
Powerball Ashe ulti coming out, not quite able to land onto the Caitlyn, and just juking out and
right
keeping safe.
Rammus drive-by onto the Leona there, procking her, procking the, what do you call it, bone plating on her with a Sunfire proc as he drives by.
Oh, but we do see another engaged top side here. Quinn is going to be going down, getting that Ignite on to Set. We see another massive engage going mid lane. Rammus is trying to close the gap with his Powerball. We're going to see a big fight in the river here. We see Set coming down as to counter the Quinn, but Quinn's going to come in hot, take down the Rammus, because Rammus was actually ulted in by the Malzahar. They're going to try and pick up Swain here as well, but he is pretty tanky in this ulti here. He does take out Lee Sin. Big explosion from the bird himself, and gets a nice kill onto Lee Sin. 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, and that Swain had a fully stacked ulti there, and a lot of people don't play against Swain, especially not in the mid lane enough, and they don't realize how much raw damage he outputs with his base numbers there. And they just walk into it, he picks up the 1 versus 3 kill onto the Lee Sin, puts himself at 3-0. Really big advantage there. Still behind in CS because Malzahar can't miss any even if he tries. But still doing what he can and making the best out of this bad lane with a really good play coming out of him.
Yeah, this Swain is now 3-0 with a huge gold advantage onto the Malzahar.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see top lane too. Quinn picks up the assist there onto the Rammus kill. But is that really going to be enough to help her out in this lane? She has her lifesteal proc. She's able to start contesting the Set on the wave now, but she's still down 25 CS. Set is building the Bork, like you mentioned, looking to go into him. We see the game.
Nice ulti from Ashe there. Black Shield going onto Ashe, really poking down the Caitlyn, almost killing her, in fact. There goes the Leona ulti into the Morgana ulti. They're going to be picking up Leona here from Ignite on Morgana. Top lane, there was a skirmish, but Rammus did Powerball in, go in on to the Quinn and the Set, finishing it off, suppressing her down with the ultimate, and they might be looking for a tower dive. Oh no, that's Lee Sin. He's going to be keeping Caitlyn safe.
Well, Lee Sin looking for the play on bot side, seeing if he can get onto this Ashe or Morgana, but while he's down there, they're going to take the Rift Arrow. They're going to pick up advantages on the top side of the map with the gank as well. And just, there's nothing that can be done here by the Lee Sin. They'll pick up a turret plate onto the Ashe after the nice 2v2 kill. And the advantage bot lane is starting to become really apparent in this 2v2. Malzahar is still managing to maintain a CS advantage mid lane. Caitlyn with the CS advantage bot lane, but her lane being 0-2 and 0-2 versus the 3 kills on the opposite end is going to be a problem at some point that she's going to have to deal with. Not completing her Infinity Edge, Ashe already has Bork and free boots helping her out there as well. Really annoying to play into this at this point.
You do see the Infernal Dragon coming out for Infernal Soul here, and we do see on the side of SEAL Team 6 actually having the 2 Dragon advantage. Hunter, any words and discussions on how this might help them, and how is it going to affect the game into the future here?
Well, the Dragon advantage is nice, but it's only relevant if they're able to take team fights, which is really important to note here, because it's not like they're 1 Dragon away. They still need to take 2 Dragons, which means they probably need to take 2 team fights, or at least 1 team fight and a Dragon steal. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that with this comp. The Quinn is designed to be in the side lane, and it's designed to push down turrets and ignore Dragons. Play around Dragons and punish Credible Hulk for grouping around them. And the Quinn's never going to be able to team fight. She's just an 80 carry that's incredibly bad at that role. But she's down 45 CS in the top lane right now. There's nothing she can do to get that back, so I don't know what they're going to be able to do with this Dragon advantage. On top of that,
Whoa, there's that nice engage. Q does go off. Sorry, E from Quinn, but an immediate response from Set actually interrupts the full E effect from Quinn, actually knocking her just right beside her, so she doesn't get the distance that she needs into this Set matchup.
And that's exactly the counterplay that we were talking about earlier. Face breaker on the Quinn Vault. If the Set ever does that while you're not next to your turret, you will die on this Quinn. He will just run you down and the entire...
Oh, we got an ulti down on Leona. Rammus powerball into a frenzying taunt. They do take out Leona. Nice Q from Morgana. Then there's a heal coming out from Caitlyn, saving her life. She has to back now, has to recall. And Set's just doing Set things topside. We see Swain doing Swain things mid lane. And Malzahar really just keeping him off of the turret.
Yeah, and Malzahar doing Malzahar things evidently as well. Wave clearing really effectively, maintaining his CS advantage.
Swain is actually getting caught here with the Lee Sin, but he is proccing the ultimate. Lee Sin ulting him away.
That Lee Sin definitely looks... We see it again, topside.
We see it again. There's that engage. There is that nice W. There's that nice ultimate there. Now Quinn does have that range where she can punish him for leaving that disengage, but that passive regen from Set's going to be too large. We see bot lane, Tremors going down from Rammus, going into a frenzying taunt, and tower diving this Leona as the turret falls.
Yeah, and that's just, bot lane's a problem. That's 2 turrets taken down by that Rift Herald. Tier 2 bot lane already fallen before a single turret is an answer from the side of CEAL Team 6. Incredible Hulk and friends off to a really big early advantage this game with 5.5, almost pretty much 6k gold now. The Ashe super far ahead of the Caitlyn, the Swain super far ahead of the Malzahar, and the Set is insurmountably ahead of this Quinn in top lane. Lee Sin hasn't been able to make the plays yet, hasn't found any of these insect plays, but who's he even going to kick in? He can't kick in the bot laners because his bot lane's too far behind, and they can't win the 3v3. Mid lane doesn't have enough priority.
There is a nice combo coming in from Swain with an Ashe downtown ulti, stunning him down. Rammus is in danger, being CC chained locked into him, but that Rammus is very, very tanky. Swain's just gonna keep engaging here, gets a double kill, actually. Very huge for mid lane.
Yeah, and this Rammus is just everywhere, making plays around the map, always there to answer the Lee Sin when he's needed. And
there's
Swain
going in onto another kill onto Morgana, and
that is a 15-minute surrender coming out of the side of CEAL Team 6 too.
It's over.
It's over. That took me off guard too. But I guess the game is over. That game was over, and I'm glad I can say that here. I don't really have to spend the next 10 minutes saying, well, maybe. We did see. Let's just recap that game really quickly, I suppose. We see the Set at the end of this game with a 50 CS advantage top lane. I think Quinn she can be a good counter pick top lane into certain melees, but it's a real problem picking her into Set. As we mentioned earlier, Set has a really good time surviving poke with his base HP regen, plus second wind, plus Storm Shield. It makes him super, super difficult to be poked out of lane. On top of that, the fact that the way Vault interacts with Facebreaker is just disastrous for what Quinn wants to do in these melee matchups. And I think just that lane gets punished super, super hard. We see the Lee Sin versus Rammus jungle. The Rammus doing a lot of good work, rolling around the map at the speed of sound, picking up a lot of ganks and a lot of good counter ganks. And the Lee Sin not able to make the plays, not able to leverage the massive mechanical ceiling on Lee Sin, at least not given enough time to in this game. In the mid lane, Swain got the early advantage, and he kept that early advantage. He was never able to directly punish the Malzahar with it, which is good job from the Malzahar, good job from Skippy there. But that's just what Malzahar is designed to do. He's designed to never get punished by these mages, never get punished without someone probably playing an assassin into him. But the Swain still finishes the game 5-0. He still helps his team out, and he still even gets some roam timings down. And in the bot lane, we see the massive Ashe, massive Morgana plays. Despite falling behind in CS to the Caitlyn, lots of gold advantage down there too. I don't know who I really want to give MVP to this game. Everyone on the side of Credible Hulk played really, really well. got really big advantages. I think Swain is probably my pick, just because they managed to do so much with that first blood and not cede the lane to Malzahar as is many mages want to do. As far as Ace, I think it's got to go over to the Malzahar. Just both players in mid lane sitting there doing what they need to do, and it's really hard to give it to anyone else on the side of SEAL Team 6, given the circumstances.
I am a little bitter. I am not a fan of surrenders, especially early surrenders, especially in competitive play. Personal opinion, teams can make mistakes, and with and good team composition and good communication with your team, you can come back from a lot of things. And really, it does look over here, and it could possibly be over, but I'm not a fan of giving up.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another great point to make there. I don't want to touch too much on it. Stuff like this happens. Sometimes you have to do it to save mental. That game was pretty brutal. It's probably going to be a very suffocating, tilting loss from that point out. So sometimes you want to surrender just for the sake of saving mental and not messing up your next game. But you can win a lot of these games if you take the chance. At least 1 out of 100 times you can win a game like that. That game's probably, I'd give it like 97-3, something like that. But the game is winnable, and 3% of the time you do win that game, and you know, you don't lose anything for playing normally. So that can be another way to look at it.
Yeah, I agree. When we get back, we're gonna watch Game 2 of Credible Hulk and Friends versus SEAL Team 6. Hello and welcome back, folks. We're going into round 2, game 2 of the day of Credible Hulk and Friends versus CEAL Team 6 here. It was a very quick game last time. Hunter, quick takeaways, what you want to see for this future game that we're going to be watching. What do you want to see taken away from enemy teams? What do you predict might happen here? And how it's going to look?
Yeah, absolutely. Starting from the side of SEAL Team 6 after that really quick loss on their side, don't pick Quinn into bad lanes. As I mentioned a little bit last game, she can be really powerful in the right lanes under the right circumstances, but she suffers super, super hard if she doesn't have a very winning lane matchup, and we saw that there. Otherwise, I think bot lane just fell behind from some ganks, and again, bad lane matchup. And the jungle, Lee Sin didn't get an opportunity or did not have the ability to impact the game the way he needed to after the early game. Also being a little bit more careful about your early invades and not giving up such a large advantage in the early game. For the side of Credible Hulk and Friends, more of that. They keep doing what they were doing. They played really well in all their lanes and keep playing well.
Couldn't agree more with you. We are gonna have a just quick discussion on just what do you think about counter picks that set into Quinn. Because we don't have pro drafts right now, it's really hard to tell how the drafting went there. Once it is back up and running, I would like to discuss on like possible picks and bans with you, Hunter. What do you feel was going through their head when picking Quinn? Do you think it was a little bit earlier? Do you think it was a little bit later in the draft?
I think it can be really difficult to know without talking to players specifically or getting an insight into how drafts work in each individual team. Sometimes top laners will just pick champions because they're like, oh, this is a powerful pick, or I want to feel powerful, without really giving full thought to how the lane's going to play out. And that might have been what ended up playing out here. If you're not very experienced and well-versed in specifically how Quinn lanes go, you might miss the face breaker interaction, and you might forget that Set's just immune to poke. And you're like, oh, I need something that beats Set in lane, but Quinn's really good into melees in lane, and it probably goes something like that.
Yeah, it's super interesting how counterpicks can really affect into future games, and how important just picks and bans really are before the game even starts.
Absolutely. Now I think we're gonna roll it in the game here now, right?
Yeah, I think so as well. I believe we're all ready to go here. We do have Hulk and Incredible Friends on red side and SEAL Team 6 on blue side this time.
As we get into game here, we do see top lane is a mess of. It is a Teemo versus Volibear lane.
This is interesting. This is interesting. I'm going to be watching this.
I'm going to come back to that later when I have more time to analyze what that means. In the jungle, we have Kha'Zix versus Nunu. Kha'Zix going to have a really hard time assassinating the Nunu and applying pressure to him, just thanks to his raw tankiness and efficient jungle clear. But he might be able to impact the rest of the game. In mid lane, we do see Camille versus LeBlanc. Another matchup that deserves a lot of time to unpack. And thankfully, bot lane's pretty simple. It's Lucian Alistar versus Morgana and Ashe. In general, Lucian Alistar is going to lose this lane really hard if they can't get an all-in off. And the all-in is going to be entirely countered by Black Shield, so this lane's going to be entirely decided by how quick the Morgana's fingers are and whether or not she can deny the Alistar engage coming into this lane. Alright, so let's, top lane's probably a little bit easier to touch on. Teemo's really good into melees, Volibear's really good at running at things. So, I'm pretty sure Teemo blind does work on Volibear flip. And assuming I'm correct, it's got to be very Teemo favored in this lane. He's going to be able to farm up, he's going to be able to poke down the Volibear really effectively, at least early game. And then coming into mid and late game, Teemo will be the nuisance he is in every single one of our
Now, Hunter,
So
we do see actually a lane swap here. I do see a Volibear mid actually going toe-to-toe with a Camille here, and a LeBlanc versus Teemo top lane. So these matchups are going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, and that's a good point here. We do see the lane swap come out here, and this says a lot about what they were thinking in the draft. The Volibear came out as the Camille counter pick, which it actually does work. The Volibear roar can interrupt Camille's hook shot if it's done perfectly, and the flip is just really annoying for the Camille to deal with. It's really hard to trade into Volibear with all of his extra damage and healing, and if you can't execute him, which you really can't once you get some items, it's going to be hard for Camille until she gets about 3 items. Now in the top lane, we see a LeBlanc Teemo matchup. I just gotta imagine that's a farm lane. LeBlanc has kill pressure, Teemo's got a poke advantage. That's something. The interesting part here is that LeBlanc won't have TP though. And LeBlanc not having TP here is gonna mean that
we do see Nunu coming in for a lane gank here. We do get the knock-up on to the Volibear. Volibear's going to flash away. His passive is going to be going off. They are going to try and turn on to Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix did just steal Amumu's, sorry, not Amumu's, Nunu's red buff in the process of all of this here. There goes the Nunu going right into the Volibear flip, saving the Kha'Zix life. Very good transition, very good just back and forth overall trading there with the side of SEAL Team 6 coming out on top there, getting the first blood for their mid laner.
Now mid laner, yeah, normally they're top laner, but yeah, great play coming out. The Majestic Roar on Volibear there, interrupting the Camille on the engage there, interrupting the hook shot like I mentioned earlier, and just being a nuisance, saving her Kha'Zix's life, and then turning around.
Oh, here we go again. The Nunu's back. They're going into attack onto the Kha'Zix. Almost a complete repeat of what we just saw before. Did someone hit the rewind button? Because that's what it felt like.
Nunu don't like losing no buff. Nunu angry. Nunu got angry. Yeah, turns it back around, gets a kill for himself. Unfortunate that it didn't go over to the Camille, but we'll just have to see how it works out. As I was mentioning earlier, no TP top lane makes the LeBlanc really vulnerable if she gets chunked out of that lane, or if she gets killed by a gank. Not being able to TP in and catch the wave when it gets shoved in is very, very much disastrous for a lane like this. And it'll be really volatile if that scenario presents itself. But otherwise, Ignite offers a great amount of kill pressure onto this Teemo if he makes a mistake. Especially once she hits 6, which should be happening pretty soon. Bot lane's just a slugfest. It looks like no one's been able to get a straight fire and engage off. Ashe is freezing the wave, slow pushing it into the Lucian at this point, actually. And just going to be able to accrue a small CS advantage
Here
from
comes
that.
a nice engage from the Volibear. He does have the red buff, but does not... Oh, his passive is back up. He's going to actually fall to the Camille. Great disengage, great re-engage from the Camille, doing a nice combo, setting up with her E, going into the Q, and then pressing W just to finish him off.
Yeah, and you got to be careful about that as the Volibear player. The only reason that Volibear works here is the fact that he gets his passive healing off. But when you're this low level and this low on your base stats, Camille can just kill you from 30% HP with a combination of abilities just like that. And you have to be careful about taking these overly aggressive trades. Especially when you're down combat summoners too.
Very interesting. They would have been... I would have been interested into seeing the top lane matchup because Volibear does land a... Whoa, we're getting a nice engage here. A good combo from Alistar, good combo from Morgana, good combo from Ashe. But Kha'Zix is here, ready to fight. Morgana does ignite the Lucian, trying to see for kill pressure for her team.
And that's just both supports there chunking out the opposing AD carry. We see Ashe, after having pushed the wave in, is looking to reset, get her HP back, not using any of her summoners in that fight, whereas Lucian had to use both, and both supports trading Ignite as well. So a big win for the bot side of Credible Hulk and friends. And they should be looking to pressure that summoner advantage. If Lucian ever uses his E in lane, he's just an open target for the Ashe arrow once that comes up. We do see a level 6 top lane. Teemo did get his back off, though, and didn't even have to TP back in the lane. So he should be safe for the meantime. Having full HP, LeBlanc won't be able to burst him without any items.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to gank this Teemo now that he is going to be hitting 6 soon, and he's going to be putting shrooms all over this topside map, making it almost impossible for Kha'Zix to come in and clean up unless LeBlanc does her gardening and cleans up the river.
Yeah, and it's just going to be that at this point in time. Teemo's going to be obnoxious. LeBlanc's going to outscale him damage. We actually see Blasting One and Amp Tome being picked up by her in lieu of picking up the Lost Chapter. We see Lucian
damage down from Lucian going E, landing the double proc with his passive, going onto the Q, landing more of a double proc there. And Morgana takes a large chunk of damage that if they do decide to engage, they might just completely take her out of this fight.
Yeah, and that's probably the last safe attempt Lucian's going to be Lucian's going to have while his flash is down in this lane phase to go in. Ashe will be hitting 6 in a wave and a half, and after that's there, the Ashe ulti is going to be able to kill this Lucian when he makes a mistake like that. Or a play like that, rather, in the future.
We do see Nunu on to Shelly there on the minimap. He will be picking this up fairly easily. Nunu, run us through some Nunu jungle pathing here, Hunter, and tell us like just the overall strength he has on objective control this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Nunu's really good at winning these.
We do see an all-in from LeBlanc. Sorry to interrupt you here, but LeBlanc landed a nice combo onto Teemo with a Nunu ready to re-engage. He's gonna try and pick up LeBlanc. LeBlanc's just gonna try and leave, but Nunu does land the ultimate, and LeBlanc has to flash away. Another re-engage mid lane with a nice E into the Q, into the ultimate. Volibear is not running away, and Camille comes out on top again.
Yeah, the Precision Protocol plus the Hextech Ultimatum coming out at the end to finish the Volibear off. And this is the price of being, like, rather the cost and reward of being able to take Ignite in this mid lane as the Camille player here. You get to counter that Volibear passive for free. You don't need to build the Executioner's Calling. Meanwhile, the LeBlanc in the top lane did what we were talking about, built full AP items, forgone mana in that lane, just so that she can have kill pressure onto the Teemo, and we really see it coming out there.
You do see Rift Herald spotted offside here, trying to get that extra money for Teemo, for Nunu, and we have a TP coming in with Volibear showing his face topside as well. Kha'Zix is up there as well. We might see another fight, but we do see a nice skirmish here, bot side, just going back and forth, trying to kill each other. But Alistar really a big bro here, really tanking a lot of the Morgana damage, helping Lucian just to go in, provide the damage that he needs to do, and get out as fast as possible. We have a Camille roaming up onto the Lucian. A nice ulti from Ashe. Camille is going in, but interrupted by Alistar. Alistar will fall here. Morgana has a heal on her and now has to flash away for her life. There is an Teemo getting collapsed on. One of those is going to be the right name eventually. And then we have Lucian going turret to get turret dived by the 3 members of Incredible Holk and friends.
Yeah, so Credible Holk and friends making really good plays around the map. Their bot lane now pulling out to a pretty handsome advantage. Ashe catching up in farm, getting some turret plates there. 2 assists on her. We see the Volibear mid lane looking to get onto this Nunu with the
there's a Kha'Zix here. Massive Nunu ultimate, but it's not enough. Volibear does flash away to avoid any risk of more damage coming out from the Nunu. But the Kha'Zix isolation is too strong and really just makes Nunu explode when he gets that Q proc.
The evolved Kha'Zix claws there coming in big, getting the cooldown refresh on it, getting the second Q off there, instantly destroying the Nunu for his insolence on fighting the Storm Bear. Soon to be reworked, by the way. If you didn't know, you did. It's coming out pretty soon. I'm pretty sure he's coming out this week. Big hype, big Storm Bear. In the top side of the map, we did see Teemo going down, LeBlanc getting a catch onto him, and Kha'Zix picking up that kill as well, putting him at 2 kills now, and Kha'Zix is starting to get to a point where he'll be able to snowball. But Camille herself, 3-0, goes bot lane, picks up the kill in the bot lane for her team, and puts her super far ahead. 3-0-2 on the Camille. Gonna be an absolute monster in this late game. You know these champs. You know what things like Camille and Fiora and all these other top laners, even though the Camille's being played in the mid lane this game, these absolute super hard scaling 1v5, 1v9 champions and things like Camille and Fiora and Nasus, Yorick, whatnot. You know what they do when they get ahead, and we see this Camille is already really far ahead and gonna look to win this game solo pretty much if she can. See Nunu going for some harass in the mid lane, posturing 3 people from either team mid lane, 4 for the side of CEAL Team 6. Absolute NA ram right now, not really sure what's happening. I don't know why bot lane's here from CEAL Team 6's side. Guess just waiting for the wave to be pushed in, not wanting to get dove. And we see the Teemo will return to top lane to pick up his farm without too much of a hassle. I really like to see Teemo.
We do see a flank coming down from Nunu. They are going to go on to Lucian. Lucian does go down, and they're going on to Alistar now, taking down some nice shift damage. Morgana ulti going down. She has turret aggro onto her. She does fall. The Camille ulti going down onto Alistar underneath the turret. They do pick up the Alistar, and they're going to be looking for the bot lane turret as well.
Yeah, and it's just that, absolutely. Great play, great flank coming out from the Nunu. The Holk from Incredible Hulk and Friends, showing why the team is named after him, coming in for a great flank on the Nunu, running them down, getting the double kill on bot lane there, putting his bot lane farther ahead, and himself getting himself a nice little kill there as well.
And another thing to note as well during that, Hunter, is that it was before 14 minutes, so they got all 5 turret plates off of bot lane. Well, first tower blood, I call it.
Yeah, so they get all the plates. They get first brick as well. Absolutely dominating performance in this bot lane right now, putting them really, really far ahead in gold. And just looking to snowball this game as well. The kills are a little more even thanks to some nice answers on the top side. And the very odd top lane LeBlanc versus Teemo matchup going in favor of CEAL Team 6. Mind you, I'd like to point out the 80 carry player for CEAL Team 6 is playing the LeBlanc in the top lane. So very interesting swapping going around on their team for positional roles here.
Yeah, you see that Skippy actually is not mid lane this game, is actually the Lucian this game as well.
Yeah, and we see bot lane from the side of Incredible Hulk and Friends rotating top side, as you should do after you take bot turret, looking to spread their advantage around the map, maybe even pick up a Rift Herald while they're up here. But it's a 5v5 around Rift Herald, and I don't know if CEAL Team 6 really wants to take this fight.
I think you're right. I think they're going to be just focusing it down, really just going to be hammering down some objectives and resetting as well. Just getting that ward control was more important.
Yeah, and we see that Incredible Hulk taking it slow around the Rift Herald. They don't need to start it immediately. They can let the side of CEAL Team 6 reset a little bit, let them get out of there, let them go bot lane to catch this wave. Someone's going to need to catch that wave. And once they're down there, they can safely take the Rift Herald with no risk of contest. But we see them grouping CEAL Team 6, 4 men in the mid lane. They take Rift Herald in response, and I don't really think they're going to get too much damage down onto this tier 2. A nice trade in response, but there's still someone needs to go bot lane. They're losing a lot of gold and EXP down there right now, and they're not going to be able to do anything if they don't have their carries farmed up.
Very interesting. Now, we do see a Cloud Drake going to be spawning soon. Thoughts on who's going to be trying to contest it, why they should be contesting it, and what does the other team have to do in response to this?
If anyone's going to fight for this dragon, it really should go to the side of Incredible Hulk. We see the bot lane resetting right now. That's likely in preparation for this dragon.
Nice engage from LeBlanc there. She is trying to take out Teemo, but it is not enough. He is getting the ignite onto him, but immediately responded back by Ashe as well. There is a Lucian being engaged on by the Camille. Camille does take it out. Nunu lands a massive ultimate onto 2 members of the team here. They are going to keep fighting him down. They're going to try and take out the Hulk himself. He is just going to be trying to save his Camille. Camille is just hiding in the back, but Kazakh sees her, flashes, cues her down, massive shutdown going on to Kazakhs here on the side of Hulk and friends.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, SEAL Team 6. SEAL Team 6.
So it's Sharona on SEAL Team 6 on this Kazakhs with the Claw Evolve first, really putting it to good use, getting a lot of damage off of these Kazakhs claws. And that's the advantage for them right now. The LeBlanc and the Kazakhs are both very far ahead, making good plays, getting kills where they need it. They really need that to carry them to a point in this game in which they're going to be able to take team fights or split push or win in some way. But it's going to be really, really hard because I feel like they're sort of out-comped at every point in this game unless LeBlanc is finding a pick. The Lucian's going to fall off really hard after mid-game. He's going to find it really hard to team fight. The Camille's going to outscale. And this Teemo, oddly enough, is going to be really, really annoying to team fight into for this Volibear and the Lucian. And even the Kazakhs. He's just going to sit there, he's going to blind you, he's going to have shrooms everywhere. You're not going to be able to be as mobile as you want to because you have to watch out for getting hit by a shroom. And if you do get hit by one, you're going to die. We see Mounts
Whoa, here comes the Nunu. Gets a two-man snowball knock up there. Camille going on to LeBlanc. LeBlanc passive going down. They are going to be chunking down the front line. That is going to be the Volibear. Ash ulti coming out. There is Alistar. He's going to get chunked out as well. Down goes Alistar. They're going to be chunking out, trying to go in for this mid lane turret here.
Yeah, and that's just the power of Nunu Camille right now. Nunu's running around this map, getting good engages for his team, and the Camille just follows up from so far away with so much damage now. 5-1 on the Camille. Triforce completed, working on what I would imagine is Ravenous Hydra next. And the Nunu's not done. He's looking for this LeBlanc. She's spooked. She might even fall if the Ashe finds her.
Oh, they do go in to a Kazakhs here. They are almost going to take him out, actually. Ashe is going back in onto Lucian, doing some massive damage. Takes out the Lucian with the last auto attack, empowered by her Q. Now they're looking for top lane turret. They are on fire right now. They are going at it. Ulti coming out from Volibear. He wants to try and flip something into the tower, but unable to quite get it because of the Ashe slow from her W.
Yeah, and Incredible Hulk looking really good right now in this game, pulling out a very large gold advantage.
We have a TP coming down from Teemo here. LeBlanc is going to leave this fight. Alistar going to pop his ultimate, getting locked down immediately after by the Morgana. Ashe is flying up, auto-attacking the Alistar, does let the cow fall. Here comes Teemo. He's going to be locking down and trying to just chunk out the LeBlanc. The LeBlanc passive is going to fall once more. I'm not too familiar with the LeBlanc passive and how long it's on cooldown for, but wait a minute. Here we go. There's a double kill going over the Kazakhs. SEAL Team 6 has their team isolated, has Hulk isolated, and they're just going to keep fighting. They're going to keep going at it. They're going to be trying to pick up the Nunu. Nunu picking on Lucian with the Teemo there, and LeBlanc is going to be in danger. She does W away. There's a Kazakh. He's sneaky. He is hunting. He is on the prowl, and has left his food alone.
That's a nutty team fight there, because, alright, so as you said, the LeBlanc passive gets procced. I think it's only a 60-second cooldown. Not a big deal, but... so, actually, Ridden, you don't have chat on stream here, but 5 had cloned from the LeBlanc. She walks her clone back in. Ashe sees it on a ward. It's like, oh, LeBlanc's coming in, looking for a pick, shoots the crystal arrow at it, kills the clone, immediately gets jumped on and shut down by the Volibear. Then the Nunu gets getting 1v2'd by the Volibear and the Lucian, walks them through a bunch of Teemo shrooms, picks up the kill onto the Lucian with the Teemo. Really smart play, critical thinking there coming in from the side of the Nunu. LeBlanc tries to kill the Morgana, she's forced to pop ulti, and Camille can't quite catch up in time to punish LeBlanc.
See Camille having eyes on Kazakh. She has been watching Kazakhs all the time. I think she's following the Kazakhs in his jungle path and is just completely just stalking him, fighting him. Whenever he's alone, she's going in. She's gonna do a nice combo onto him, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah, and this Nunu really needs some Eurobeat soundtracks this game. He's just everywhere on the map, running around, getting the snowballs he needs, drifting around corners, and really impacting this map so much. Like, even though the Kha'Zix is doing really well, the Nunu's map pressure is just still so much superior. We see Camille still snowballing out of control. They take bot lane turret for the side of Credible Hulk. And this gold advantage is still continuing to grow. 5k now for the side of Credible Hulk. 1 dragon apiece with the first of our Mountain Rift spawning in 45 seconds.
Rock Dragon this time.
Yeah, and the tank stats, they're gonna be... I don't think they're very useful for either team, honestly. They're gonna be a little bit more useful for the Nunu than they are for the Volibear, I think. But Volibear's, I guess he's building Dead Man's Blade at this point in time, so we'll get a little bit of advantage out of it. Really, I don't think this game's about dragons. This game's going to be over before dragons come into major impact.
Nice Nunu. Seeing the LeBlanc, she has to flash away. Nunu's flashing in. There's a flash from Camille into a nice ultimate as well. Really shutting her down, chasing her down. This Camille has been an assassin this game.
Absolutely, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. We see SEAL Team 6 starting up the Dragons, trying to take advantage of the Nunu top.
Unable to really catch the team, has to turn back with his team to secure the Dragon here for them. Here comes Nunu. Ashe ultimate going down. Alistar popping ulti in response because he got Ashe ulti. A giant Nunu ultimate going down on a lot of the members of SEAL Team 6. Here they go again. This is going to be a huge victory for Hulk and friends.
Absolutely. And
now,
we
did you see the Kha'Zix on a Teemo Shroom? And once again, here's the Camille. She's stalking her prey and assassinates the Kha'Zix. Now here goes the Hulk. The Hulk himself is hungry. He's going in, but it's going to fall to the LeBlanc.
Yeah, and LeBlanc punishing the Nunu for going so deep there, but it's only just that. It's 1 kill onto the trying to burst down the
that's
Teemo,
a lot of burst damage from the Teemo. He's
here.
gonna keep auto-attacking, keep queuing, has the poison go down. LeBlanc can't quite one-shot him, and he's just punishing. He is just sitting there. He's attacking there. You're gonna need multiple members if you want to kill him now.
Yeah. The game at this point is really out of control for the side of SEAL Team 6. They're not going to be able to make the proactive plays they want. And eventually this Camille's going to keep getting stronger. It doesn't get easier from here. No matter what this next item is, it might be a Maw Malmortius to survive the LeBlanc damage. It might just as well be a Death's Dance to just remove any burst potential from killing her. And once she's got, like, as she continues to build these items, she's going to get stronger and stronger. She's going to get better at taking turrets, better at one-shotting these squishies. And the only person who she's not going to one-shot on this team is Volibear. She's going to one-shot Lucian, Kha'Zix, and the LeBlanc, and her true damage goes straight through Alistar ulti, so that's not even going to help protect him. And I don't know, man. This Camille's just... You've got to find a way to pick her off. She's
going out. Here goes the Nunu. A nice double knock-up with the snowball there. They are going to keep fighting. Volibear is going to be fighting a Camille topside, doing really good chip damage. She's going to ulti down. She's going to keep fighting. She's not done. Massive Q, massive W, and she gets shut down, being flipped into turret, taking turret aggro, and Volibear landing a nice E into a W combo.
Yeah, and the Camille there just not respecting the Volibear flip in the turret. Not respecting turret damage, not respecting the fact that she has no cooldowns. Can't out DPS the Volibear heal there. A little bit of a mistake there. Giving over the shutdown to Volibear's not the most problematic thing. The Volibear's not going to do as much with the shutdown as, say, a Lucian, a LeBlanc, or a Kha'Zix. But that said, the Camille's still strong. Even with that little mistake, even with her slowing down her build path a little bit because of it, she's still going to be able to take those fights. And that's a tank you saw take, what, 25, 30% of his HP to a single precision protocol there. And that ain't getting better as the game goes on.
That is one dangerous Camille. She is definitely a force to be reckoned with and a definite threat to be watching this game.
We do see Kha'Zix's second evolve. I think it was it his W? I don't. Yeah, he did. Kha'Zix did second evolve on his Corporal's. We do see a LeBlanc stopwatch to prevent Teemo Shroom damage. But yeah, Kha'Zix's second evolve is his W. He's doing what he can to I guess slow poke and CC out the side of Incredible Hulk and friends. But if they're not able to find the pick onto this Camille, they're never going to be able to win a team fight. So that's got to be their top priority, looking to find this Camille, looking to pick her out, and then you can take a team fight once she's gone. We see a lot of just sort of lull state at this point in time. There's no objectives up that anyone wants to take. The Mount Dragon is spawning in 40 more seconds, and either team can take that. If by chance SEAL Team 6 manages to get this dragon, that does put them on soul point, and the Mountain Soul will do a lot of work with making sure that they don't die to the Camille and don't get chunked out by the Teemo Shrooms. So if they're able to pick it up, it'll be a really big advantage for them, but I just don't see them winning 2 dragon fights consecutively.
It's very interesting. Should be fun to watch here. It's going to be interesting bait here on the side of Hulk and friends. But on the response to that, I think SEAL Team 6 might be just looking to say, oh, if you're going to take Dragon, we're going to take Baron, which is a very smart call by them, actually.
Yeah, and they got a lot of damage on this team, too, with the Kha'Zix Q evolve just going to shred through this Baron. And if they're not respecting it, Hulk needs to get there quick.
They do take the Dragon. Ashe does grab it. Now is going to be regrouping with her team into an Alistar, going in with the W. Does try and knock up. Doesn't quite get anyone there. Teemo is isolated. There goes Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix really taking out that. He's looking for the backline. There goes Volibear. He's flipping. He's doing his thing. He's just auto-attacking. He's Eing. Now here's Ashe. He is pretty big. She's going to do a lot of damage. Getting burst down by the LeBlanc. And now it's just the Hulk. The Hulk has no friends this time. He's going to try and get that additional damage down on from the Baron, trying to get that heal there. But the burst from everyone else is going to take them out. They might try and pick up the Baron here, but I don't think they have enough health to do so. So they're just going to reset and regroup one more time. That was a big win on SEAL Team 6.
Absolutely, a huge win on SEAL Team 6 there. It's a 5-for-2 team fight for them because the Ashe isn't there for the beginning of the team fight, and the Camille doesn't have the tankiness yet that she needs to go in 1 versus 4. That's what we saw in the backline there. She went in, she killed the Lucian just alone, 1 versus 4, destroyed him, but then she got burst down by the LeBlanc, by the Kha'Zix, and the Ashe isn't there putting pressure on the rest of the team fight to keep her safe, really, to force people to respect both ends of the team fight. Camille's not necessarily a great team fight.
Oh, here goes Camille, but Alistar is right beside her. Camille is going to be ulting the Kha'Zix, but a quick headbutt back from the Alistar does prevent this.
Yeah, great disengage from the Alistar there, protecting his Kha'Zix. But the Camille needs to be leveraging her advantage in the side lane, not in these 5-5 team fights, or even that team fight, which was more or less 5 versus 3 for the entire run there. The LeBlanc also deft from the side of SEAL Team 6, playing that fight really well, getting the assassination down onto both the Ashe and onto the Camille that fight, killing both hard carries, and just ensuring that the team will be able to survive.
There you go. Nice black shield from that. We do see the Nunu and the Volibear going at it. Volibear immediately going on to Ashe, seeing that she's in the front line. Massive ultimate from the Nunu there. I think that was a max ult, and he is going to get a double kill, picking up the Alistar.
Yeah, the Ashe is not very much tunnel vision onto what's in front of her, and that team fight doesn't catch the fact that there's the Mach 10 bear running at her from the side. Volibear gets the assassination down, but he gives his life in return for it. We do see the Baron being started up by the side of Credible Hulk and friends. SEAL Team 6 looking to contest with their Kha'Zix, with their massive amount of damage. But
really hard to steal any objective away from a Nunu, so this is going to be huge. And we see the pick onto LeBlanc there. She does almost fall. She does get a flash from the Camille. Teemo actually taking her down with the poison. And then there goes the Nunu, stealing that Baron. Well, not really stealing, taking that Baron. Kha'Zix will fall to the Camille. They are going to keep going and possibly open up this mid-lane turret.
Yeah, and that's just shows the power of Nunu there, getting the smite off. Probably like an 80-20 there, because Nunu can smite effectively from 1700 right now. We do see lots more pushing coming down mid lane, looking to break open the base for the side of Credible Holk and friends. Dragon spawning in another minute and a half here.
Big Alistar EQ combo there. Very well done. Morgana does have to put the Black Shield onto Nunu. They are going to have to watch out because Teemo is pushing up top side as well, opening up that top lane inhibitor. They are going to try and progress onto the Teemo. Teemo doing massive damage, blinds the Lucian. Here comes the Hulk himself. Nunu coming in, biting down on Teemo. Teemo getting that massive double kill, and they're going to be looking for more.
Yeah, and this is where you want to be.
Kill from Kha'Zix going in onto Ash, into the Q. Ash falls one more time. LeBlanc trying to leave the Camille ultimate, not able to though. She does get away safely. Nunu does take out the Kha'Zix, and it looks like they're going to be looking to end right here.
Yeah, so Ash not respecting isolation from Kha'Zix there, gets absolutely one shot. That Kha'Zix still fed, still has 3 items. And then Nunu walks at Kha'Zix and says, "You do not respect my chunk."
Here comes the Teemo TP coming inbound. They're going in onto Ash. They do pick up the LeBlanc there, sorry. And they are going to look to take this next turret and end the game here.
Yeah, and this is just looking to end this game here at 33 minutes. Coming in, hitting the Nexus. Alistar, that's 2 headbutts actually into Fountain there, but not enough.
Not enough. GG for the side of Hulk and friends.
Yeah, and 2 pretty convincing games coming out of them too. 9k gold advantage at the end of this game, a little bit inflated thanks to the turrets falling at the end. But just good gameplay coming out of them. Really impressive showing from the Camille this game in particular. Really showing their stuff in this mid lane this series.
Very fun game here. Hunter, quick recap and MVP and ace of this game.
Yeah, the first game sort of snowballed out of control in every single lane, and there's not too much to say there. Good play coming out of Holk, and just needed a mental reset for the side of CEAL. We see this second game much closer, much more competitive, but the Camille gets ahead early in this mid lane Camille versus Volibear matchup in very strange fashion. Bot lane, the Lucian and Alistar are never able to get any foothold in this game. Bad scores coming in bot side, but it's not like they can do anything. Lucian can't contest a fed Camille, and it's super hard for him to get in onto the Ashe when she can't be all in, thanks to the Morgana Black Shield. The LeBlanc, the saving grace of this game, alongside the Kha'Zix, trying to get some work done, punishing the Teemo early with her early big AP purchases, but not enough to win this game, not enough to carry her team into a point in time in which they can team fight, and game just goes over to Hulk thanks to big plays from Hulk and the Camille in the mid.
Yes, GG from both teams, very fun. And when we come back from our break, we're going straight into the Noxian division. Team Spare Parts versus Kamikaze Penguins.